Okay, this is day 2, Math 1, all Math 1 students. Okay, so we have writing inequalities given graphs notes. Okay, so this was pretty much the same thing as we had yesterday. So you can look at the symbols and you can see what their meaning is, and then there's an example, and then you can also pay attention to that. When there's a line underneath it, you can see that the circle is closed, and when there's no line, the circle is open. Okay, so you don't shade it in. So here's your first example. Write an inequality for each graph. The open circle indicates that 2 is not a solution. Also, the numbers that are shaded are greater than 2. So, how would you write this? X is greater than 2. So it's open, okay? And it's greater than 2, so the arrow is going to be going to the larger numbers, not into the negatives. B, so you're looking at this graph, you have got 3, it's solid, dot, and it's going to the lower numbers. And then you've got 6, it's an open dot, and the arrow is going to the bigger numbers. So focus on one part at a time. So the first one we're going to look at is the solid dot 3 going to the smaller numbers. Okay, the closed circle indicates that 3 is a solution. So the numbers that are shaded are less than. Okay, so x is less than or equal to 3. Okay, so you're still looking at the one above. I know there's one. Now you're going to look at the open circle, 6, going to the 9, okay? The open circle indicates that 6 is not a solution. Also, the numbers shaded are greater than 6. So, did I skip that? I might have cut it off there. Let's look at it again. So it should be 6, or x, is greater than 6, okay? Now, you're not going to have a line under there, okay? It's just 6 is greater than, or x is greater than 6, okay? Okay, let's move down to C. The graph represents a compound inequality. Open circles indicate that -8 and 2 are not a solution, so they're not part of it. The numbers that are shaded are greater than -8 and less than 2. There are 2 ways you can write the answer. Both are correct. So the solution is -8 is less than x. X is less than 2. Okay? Another way to write it that might be easier is just to break the 2 apart. Okay? So the solution is x is greater than -8. Okay? And x is less than 2. Those are a little confusing. Okay, so this is your homework, your assignment. Okay, here's 1 through 5, and here is 6 through 10. So I have some examples. You can look at your worksheet while we do these, okay? So for number 1, it's closed, okay? So we'll go back, make sure. Okay, see how it's closed? Okay, so when it's closed, we have x is less than, with a line underneath it, or equal to -6. Okay, so you can see that you need to remember that when it's open, there's no line underneath it, and when it's closed, there is a line. Okay, here's another example on number 5. Okay, here's my messy line there, but it's open. Okay, so no line underneath, and then it's getting bigger, so x is greater than 6. Okay, Here's an example like number 9, okay? So I like to look at the two separately. So the first one is closed, so I know there's going to be a line underneath it, okay? And the number is getting smaller. It's going further into the negatives, which means it's getting, looks like it's getting bigger, but because it's a negative, it's getting smaller. So on this one, it's x is less than or equal to negative 2. And then when we look at the other part on the right side, we see that there's an open circle on 3, okay? So we know there's going to be no line underneath it, and the number's growing larger. So we know that x is going to be greater than 3, okay? No line underneath it. So the solution is x is less than or equal to negative 2, or x is greater than 3, okay? Here's an example like number 10, okay? So they're both closed, so they have lines underneath it, okay? So negative 4 is less than x. X is less than 3, okay? We could also write it as x is greater than negative 4 and x is less than 3. Depends how you like to write it, okay? So again, this, you have 1 through 10 to do. You're writing the equation, okay? So you're coming up with the answer. Okay, so this is kind of the reverse of what you did yesterday. Yesterday you should have done this sheet all the way through 10, okay? And you can see yesterday they gave you the inequality and you had to graph it, okay? Or you had to put the circle and the line, okay? So today you're doing the opposite. You don't know the inequality. It's already been graphed for you. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.